Visuals. Opening with a shot of pre-war Warsaw, bustling and vibrant, then slowly transitioning to the early days of German occupation, showing the shift in daily life. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the powerful and unforgettable world of The Pianist, a cinematic masterpiece that takes us on an incredible journey through one of history's darkest chapters. This film isn't just a story, it's a testament to the human spirit's resilience, an unflinching look at survival against impossible odds, and a hauntingly beautiful portrayal of how art can endure even in the face of utter devastation. We're going to explore some of the most poignant survival scenes from the movie, witnessing the sheer determination and strength of its protagonist, Władysław Szpilman, as he navigates the brutal realities of World War II. Visuals. Focus on early restrictions imposed on Jewish citizens, like the marking of businesses or public spaces. Then scenes of Szpilman and his family coping with these new laws. The Pianist introduces us to Władysław Szpilman, a brilliant Polish Jewish pianist whose life, like millions of others, is irrevocably altered by the German invasion of Poland in 1939. Initially, the changes are subtle, then they become increasingly oppressive. We see Szpilman, a man whose world was defined by the elegance of music, suddenly confined by curfews, rationings, and discriminatory laws. The film masterfully portrays the insidious creep of tyranny, showing how everyday life is slowly but surely dismantled. The early survival scenes aren't about grand escapes, but about the small, daily acts of perseverance, finding food, staying together as a family, and holding onto slivers of dignity in a world that sought to strip it away. It's a powerful reminder that survival isn't always about dramatic rescues. Sometimes it's just about getting through another day. Visuals transition to the construction of the Warsaw Ghetto, showing the overcrowding and deteriorating conditions. Szpilman and his family entering the ghetto, then comes the unimaginable, the creation of the Warsaw Ghetto. The film shows the Szpilman family, along with hundreds of thousands of other Jewish residents, forced from their homes into a segregated, overcrowded, and increasingly desperate district. The visuals here are stark and profoundly moving. We see the sheer scale of human suffering, starvation, disease, and the constant threat of violence. Yet, amidst this despair, there are moments where the human spirit flickers. Szpilman's piano is gone, but his music still lives within him, a silent symphony in his mind. The will to survive here is a collective one, as families cling to each other, sharing meager resources, and offering comfort in the face of overwhelming fear. The film doesn't shy away from the brutality, but it also highlights the quiet strength found in unity and the refusal to surrender hope entirely. Visuals, scenes leading up to the deportation. The family's final moments together, Szpilman being pulled from the line by a friend. The most harrowing survival moment for Szpilman comes during the infamous Gross Action Warsaw the systematic deportation of Jews to extermination camps. The scene at the Umschlagplatz is heartbreakingly realistic. We witness families torn apart, the despair etched on every face. Spillman and his family are among those being herded onto trains, destined for certain death. In a stroke of unimaginable fate, a former acquaintance, a Jewish ghetto police officer, recognizes Spillman and pulls him from the line, saving his life just moments before the train departs. This isn't an act of heroism, but an impulsive, desperate decision that underscores the thin line between life and death during these times. It's a moment that forces Spillman into solitary survival, a path even more fraught with peril. Visuals Spillman's life in hiding within the ghetto, showing him scrounging for food. Witnessing atrocities from his hiding spots, alone and constantly hunted, Spillman begins his solitary struggle for survival within the labyrinthian ruins of the ghetto and later, the bombed-out city. These scenes are a masterclass in tension and human endurance. He hides in abandoned buildings, crawls through rubble, and lives on scraps, constantly on edge. The film vividly portrays his hunger, his loneliness, and the constant fear of discovery. We see him driven by the most basic human instincts: to find food, water, and shelter. His survival becomes a day-to-day battle, a constant improvisation. The film doesn't glamorize it. Instead, it shows the grueling, dehumanizing reality of being hunted, of existing in the shadows. Yet, even in this extreme isolation, there are moments where the memory of music, of a life once lived, becomes his mental refuge, a fragile thread connecting him to his former self. Visuals Spillman hiding in various apartments, relying on the kindness of strangers. His increasing emaciation and desperation. As the war progresses, Spillman relies on the kindness and courage of strangers. He's moved from one hiding place to another, sometimes by Polish sympathizers who risk their own lives to help him. These interactions highlight the incredible bravery of those who resisted the Nazi regime in their own quiet ways. We see Spillman's body waste away, his face gaunt, but his eyes still hold a spark of life, a desperate clinging to existence. One of the most famous scenes involves him dropping a stack of plates while trying to open a jar, creating a terrifying noise that could expose him. It's a stark reminder of the constant, almost unbearable stress he lived under. His resourcefulness and sheer willpower are astounding, transforming him from a refined artist into a primal survivor. Visuals. The final stages of the war, Spillman's encounter with Captain Hosenfeld, the German officer, the climax of Spillman's survival story, and perhaps the most iconic scene, occurs during the final throes of the war as the Soviets advance. He's discovered in a dilapidated building by a German Wehrmacht officer, Captain Wilhelm Hosenfeld. Expecting the worst, Spillman reveals he's a pianist. Hosenfeld surprisingly asks him to play. On a dusty, broken piano, Spillman plays Chopin's Ballade No. 1 in G minor, a piece he might have performed in packed concert halls. The music fills the empty building, a profound moment of shared humanity transcending the brutal conflict. Hosenfeld, moved by the music, not only spares Spillman, but also provides him with food and supplies, even leaving him his own coat as the German forces retreat. This encounter, a flicker of decency in the absolute darkness, is a powerful statement about the redemptive power of art and the unexpected kindness that can emerge even from the most unlikely sources. Visuals. Spillman's liberation, his return to music, and a final shot of him playing piano years later, perhaps interspersed with brief, hopeful glimpses of Warsaw rebuilding. Spillman survives the war, emerging from the ruins, a ghost of his former self, but alive. The film closes with him returning to the piano, his true calling, his hands